All right, check. This is me, Tom Boyder Dikey, Tommy Tickets, Tommy Two Tone. Put that shit in baggies. This is me practicing my TED Talk. It's not even practicing. It's me writing this TED Talk. This is me writing my TED Talk, or some sort of talk. Talk to a school. Talk to a group of people who feel like they want to pursue a more creative way of living. Here's the story. The story starts out with identical twin brothers, Cody and Kevin. They are in second grade. These two brothers, you know what? Let's do best friends. Let's say best friends. These best friends are inseparable. Cody and Kevin, they're in second grade. They do everything together. They wear the same stuff. They enjoy the same activities. They like the same girl. Actually, you don't like girls in second grade. But they're sitting next to each other in class. And the teacher is in the front of the class. And she looks at the whole classroom and she says, "Who wants to come up to the front of the room and draw a picture of your favorite animal?" Everyone's hands go up. Drawing on the board? My favorite animal? Let's get it. Cody and Kevin's hands especially go super high. They're reaching for the skies. Mrs. Benson surveys the room. Who's gonna come draw a picture of their favorite? Cody. Kevin's not too stoked. Kevin feels a little gypped. He feels a little slighted. He knows that he could have drew an incredible animal. Why didn't she pick him? Is it what he's wearing? Does she think that he can't draw a great animal? All Kevin knows is his best friend is going to the front of the class and he's getting his moment to shine. Cody gets to shine, not Kevin. Cody's up at the front of the classroom and he's drawing this majestic beast on the board. Looks like it could be a horse. Looks like it could be... It starts to turn out. It's a well-looking giraffe. He starts to put the ears on the giraffe. And Kevin is sitting there in the back of the classroom, not getting his opportunity, looking at the board saying, "That's my favorite animal." Why does he get to draw on the board? And why does he knows that's my favorite animal. Why is he drawing that animal? Shit. He didn't say shit. He thinks shit. He's second grade. He probably doesn't know the word shit. Cody comes and sits down. Everyone is saying, "Good job, Cody. That's really good. That's a high five." Mrs. Benson saying, "Great job, Cody. We love it." As Mrs. Benson starts to say, "Hey, who else wants to come to the board?" Kevin is fixated on Cody. Kevin needs to figure out a way to bring Cody down to earth. He's got to make it even. So he looks at Cody and goes, "Hey, man, like, what kind of ears are those? Are you kidding me? Look at the ears. Cody, look at the ears. Giraffe ears stick straight up. They're not floppy." Mrs. Benson notices the commotion in the back of the classroom, and she says, "Yo, you got something you want to say to the class?" Kevin says, "Yeah. I wanted to know if that was a beagle or if that was a giraffe. Giraffes don't have floppy ears." The class erupts. They're all enjoying this moment that Kevin has started. Oh yeah, all the kids start to notice those ears are wrong. That is not giraffe ears at all. That is what kind of breed of giraffe is that? That's not a real thing. Everyone's taking part in this now. Everyone is looking at Cody and then looking at the giraffe. All of a sudden, his moment that he had an opportunity to shine is now coming back to bite him in the butt. But Mrs. Benson is smart, and Mrs. Benson sees a teachable moment. She also sees an opportunity for a big idea. She draws a line down the middle of the board. One half of the board, she writes, "Spokesperson for creativity." The other half of the board, she writes, "Spokesperson for dysfunction." "You're either one or the other," she says. "At the end of every day, you are going to come up and put your name on the column that best describes your actions of the day." A student raises their hand and says, "Isn't like a spokesperson like a professional athlete or a celebrity?" Mrs. Benson responds, "That's a great question. A spokesperson is someone who represents a brand, a group, or a set of ideas. you are representing a group of people that subscribes to creativity, or you are representing the side that subscribes to dysfunction. Mrs. Benson knows that we all start out as Cody. We all start out with this wild imagination. We all start out just wanting to share our perspective of the world. She knows that if we're not super aware, if we're not super self-aware, there's a shift that happens gradually. And next opportunity Cody has to make something, the doubt starts to creep in. What if I do it wrong again? What if they laugh at me again? What are people saying behind my back that they're not saying to my face? If it's not perfect, is it even worth doing? Probably not. Over time, we start to listen to these voices, and these voices get louder and louder. They start as little reminders, and then they develop into billboards and blimps and movie screen-sized messages that say, "You are not enough." Eventually, Kevin turns Cody. See, Cody doesn't get it. Kevin's feelings, Kevin's actions are rooted in insecurity, in jealousy. Kevin doesn't probably even realize that either, because the kid's in second grade. But Cody stops volunteering to go up to the front of the board. He starts to resent other people that are taking action and going up to the front of the board. Because when we're not doing our own thing, we can't be happy for other people because we're not happy. We're not fulfilled. So it's hard to see that goodness in other people because we feel like there's lack in us. That energy that he's holding back has to go towards something. So Cody projects it on other people. The kids around him that he's projecting that on, they eventually turn on other people because this is infectious. What happens is you get this notion that you're not enough. And then by 5th grade, no one's raising their hands to go up to the front of the board. And then all these 2nd graders and 5th graders, they turn into adults. These little patterns, these little ways of thinking, these little responses become habits. And these habits start to veer us to the side of dysfunction or on the side of creativity. And these types of spokespeople, they show up in our everyday lives. They are the people at the gym that we're talking to. They are our roommates. They might be some of our best friends. They might be a family member, a random person online, or a colleague. And sometimes they can be sneaky. On the surface, they seem like they want to help, but deep down in, they do not want you to succeed because that means you'd have to change your behaviors. Yeah, if you want success, there needs to be a behavior change. And if you change, that means they have to change. And people will resist that if they don't share the same vision as you. If they don't share the same vision of what side of the board they want their name on. So the very act of you doing something dope is a threat to the world that they know. And guess what? You're not just a spokesperson based on whether you're doing a creative act or not, whether you're a poet or a freaking artist. You're a spokesperson no matter what. It shows up all the time. How you talk to someone at the cash register, how you walk into the room, how you engage with a stranger on the plane. These moments, these little moments, if you don't catch them, they are what define a majority of the world. And what happens is they happen at a young age. They happen when we're just trying to figure out who the frick we are and what matters to us. It might not play out exactly like the scenario I just shared, but it's similar. It's many examples and exchanges that play out over time. You're saying, oh, I'm a videographer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a photographer, I'm a spokesperson for creativity. Not so fast. Sometimes people in these categories can be the biggest spokespeople for dysfunction. Because if you're playing in the same lane, you're hyper aware of who's doing more or who's doing less. You're not hyper aware on your process. You're not hyper aware on how you can improve. You're hyper aware of every single personality, every quirk that someone else has, because we're not entirely confident with who we are and the gifts that we have to give. So we start paying attention to what everyone else has. And instead of allowing the greatness that they're bringing to the table to inspire us, we let it offend us and be a threat to us. And Mrs. Benson continues. She says, yeah, At the end of every day, you decide which category that you are in. You know, it's based on how many times you try. It's based on how you cheer when someone else gets a chance. It's how collaborative you are, how open you are to feedback, whether you take it personally if someone else gets a shot, whether someone else's success inspires you or offends you. It's how constructive your feedback is. It's whether you're taking action and knowing that action alone is the best way to inspire others. It's how you encourage others. It's how you respond when shit doesn't go as planned. It's how consistent you are. It's how you use your resources, whether you're enjoying the process or taking it too seriously. And most importantly, it's knowing that many people can have the same favorite animal and it doesn't take anything away from you. Mrs. Benson knows it's those decisions, not talents, that dictate which category that you are in. Oh, you're going to say, oh, someone's got to keep it real. He didn't draw the best ears. Oh, we got to keep it real. We got to be real with them. There's a way of delivering constructive feedback, and there's a way of delivering destructive feedback. Hey, man, like in the future, when you do draw a giraffe, they have pointy ears. Show them an example. Focus on all the other good aspects of this drawing of the giraffe. How many times do we do that with our friends? We focus on all the things that are wrong with it instead of, yo, that's a freaking dope giraffe. Or, that's a creative giraffe. Shit, that's a unique giraffe. I wish I was a giraffe that had floppy ears. I would stand out from the crowd. Quote from Chase Jarvis. The creative spirit is infectious. Being around creative people who love what they do and have a lot of passion has a positive impact on those around them. Who wants to come up to the board and draw a picture of their favorite animal? Raise your hands.
Be mindful to Boyd.